Today we're going to look at how to create some drum beats in a couple of different styles. So we're going to use a virtual instrument called the drum rack. So on our Ableton Live menu, we have over on the left-hand side, we've got our drums list. If I click on that, you'll see up the very top, we've got a virtual instrument icon and it says drum rack. So I'm going to drop the drum rack into the instrument menu down the bottom here. As that appears, we can see we've got buttons. This is a representation of like a DJ controller, okay, like a machine or an MPC. This is a very common platform, so it allows us to plug things in and control it. Today I'm going to show you how to use the sequencer to sequence out our own drum loop. Once we've got the drum rack loaded up, we're going to choose some sounds. We can go through and preview the sounds. If I click on my little blue headphone speakers, just gives us an idea of what it's going to sound like in loop form. Now you heard an actual drum beat there, but we're going to build our own drum beats out of this pack. So I'm going to load that up. And now you can see the sampler with the sounds loaded up. So you can see the WAV file here, over here, and we've got some other controls, which we won't worry about for today. Once we have our drum rack loaded, we're going to create a MIDI clip over here on the clip view area. So double click, creates a MIDI clip, and our piano roll opens up. We're going to give ourselves a bit more space by sliding that up. And you can see we've got a list of all the drum sounds on our piano roll. We can preview all the different sounds. We're going to quickly go through and make a house beat. So let's just describe the piano roll and how to use it a little bit more in more detail. Across the top, you'll see some numbers, and these are basically counting through our beats in the bar. So we've got beat 1, 1.2 is actually beat 2, 3, 4. So as we go through, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see that there's a slight variation of the shading there. That's just to help us identify where each beat is landing. And you can see there's some lighter grid lines across each of the beats. Each beat is segmented into 4 parts or quarters, and this is so that we can create some really interesting rhythms across the beats. With a house beat, we're going to use just a kick, which is what we kick 4 to the floor. So we're going to create 4 kicks across each of the beats. Okay, all at the start of each beat. If we have a listen to that. Okay. When we first engage it, we need to make sure we press play on our clip. Now, when we press play on our transport, it'll start playing. And it's looping over. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, with a house beat, we need a snare. So we've got our snare or a clap. There's a few different types of snares, so I'm going to go with, I'm actually going to go with a clap. Actually, no, I'm going to go with a snare, probably this one here. And I'm going to place that on beats 2 and 4. All right. Okay, there we have it. So we're starting to sound like a house beat now. A classic house beat also has some hi-hats on the off beat. So if we get our nice close hi-hat, okay, we're going to place that on the offbeat. So this is where we need to work with our segments. So we can see 1, 2, 3, 4 segments. We're going to place the hi-hat on the 3rd segment of each beat. This is what we call the upbeat, or in musical terms, the and subdivision of the beat. So if we play through that now, we should hear a pretty standard house beat. Then once we've done that, we can get a bit more embellishment. We can add in different sounds. We've got some interesting tom sounds. I thought maybe I'll add a clap within this. So I'm going to add a clap on the 4th beat, on the down of it. And I'm going to also add a bit of a rim shot throughout. So I'm just going to create some interesting rhythms. So let's have a listen to that now. Okay, so obviously that rhythm works really well, but if we want to get some variation, what we can do is copy this clip down to the next clip view. And we do that by holding the control key on our keyboard down and clicking and dragging down to the next clip view. What this allows us to do is to create some interesting rhythms on another clip, and we can start mixing them together. So I'll just show you how to do that. So we'll keep the rim shots together, but I might add in hi-hats at different spots. Let's see how that works. Okay, now we also need to make sure we've engaged the clip that we want to look at. So going up the top, there we go. Okay, so that's got a bit more of a swung rhythm. I want to keep pretty straight ahead, so we'll just get rid of that. But what I'm going to do is add a crash at the start. And let's go with a ride every first and third beat. Angela? I don't like that ride, so I'll take that out. So you can see how if you don't like something, you can just keep going on with it. So continuing on, now what we can do is we can play through these tracks and mix them together. So if I click on the top track, our original beat, it's going to play that. And then when I click on the second rhythm or the second clip, it's going to cycle through to that and start looping that clip. We can create a whole range of different beats and variations on a rhythm to build up our song. So let's have a look at that now. We've got our standard beat here. And now I'll clip that and it's going to cycle through. And then back again. Okay. So that's how to use a basic drum rack and set up a house beat. In the next tutorial, we'll look at some different styles you can follow along with and create.